Hey everybody, welcome back to Premium Picks. Today we are going to break down UFC Fight Night from France, Paris, featuring Hanato Money Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis, also featuring Imavov versus Brendan Allen in the co-main event. Decent card, it's okay. 14 fights, a lot to get through, so we're going to keep the ones that are more irrelevant, short and to the point, and the ones we like we'll talk about in more depth. First fight of the night, we got Balaji Oki versus Chris Duncan. Whole world's on Oki here. I actually think Chris Duncan has a pretty good chance here. I think Duncan can make it a grind. I think it can be a very close fight. And in a close fight, you never know how it's going to go. So my pick would be it goes the distance. And I won't be playing it, but I think Chris Duncan can win the fight. So dog or pass, fight goes the distance would be my pick. What do you think?
I also think Chris Duncan has a good shot at winning the fight. He's shown in a couple instances that he's able to work back from adversity, right? Balaji Oki, for all the things that he does good, there's a few things that I think he can work on. His takedowns are okay. His defense is okay from what I see. But he made that Timothy Kwamba fight a little bit closer than it should have been. In 3 rounds, he should have thrown a little bit more volume than 60 strikes, you know what I mean? So now I don't know if much of his grappling is going to work in this. Chris Duncan is a pretty good grappler in his own sense. So, Bellagioki kind of looks like he kind of slows down as the fight goes on. And Duncan kind of gets stronger as the fight goes on. I mean, he got knocked out by Borishev, which isn't a good look, back in the day, but he did fight back from getting knocked down pretty a couple times, you know what I mean? So, I think it is a dogger pass. I'm not high on this as well. But I don't think Bellagioki should be a 2-1 favorite over Chris Duncan. Maybe if this line was a little tightened, maybe minus 150 or less, I could see the argument for the Oki side. But at these odds, I think Chris Duncan has a fair chance to actually get this done.
All right, moving on. We got Nora Cornolle versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. 8-1 versus 7-1. This is a rematch. Cavalcanti won the first bout by decision, and that is probably how I would lean this one as well. I mean, I think it could be close, but again, it's another fight I think is going the distance, and I think Cavalcanti is a little bit just going to be a little bit ahead of her, just slightly. Nothing special, nothing spectacular. Not going to be the most exciting fight, but I just think she's going to be one step ahead the whole fight. Um, Again, the pickest fight goes the distance. Give me Cavalcanti by decision. Well, I'm not sure what the odds are here, though. Are they wide or no?
A little wide, minus 200, plus 170.
I don't know. I got Cavalcanti decision, but I think there's a world where it's a close fight and it's going the distance. What do you think?
Cavalcanti is a good striker, and she does put up very good volume. The problem is that she doesn't throw with any power. And that her last fight, who was it against? It was against she got a split
Yes.
decision. She outstruck the girl 2-1, and she still got a split decision. What that tells me is that the other it's Josiane Nunez. So Josiane Nunez, we know she's a little power pack, right? So she throws with power. So the power shots were coming from Nunez, and then the volume was coming from Cavalcante. I mean, they got it right in my eyes, but she makes fights a little bit closer than they should be. So I don't like the odds on her. I think she wins. I think she's got more volume. I think she's gonna have volume. Cornolle. Cornolle can catch her though, as she's shown that her last fight, she can catch her. That knee got her last opponent, so can't get too cute in there. So I think the power range is on Cornell, but she's gonna have to hit the perfect shot to win. So I'm gonna side with the volume on this, the technique of Cavalcante.
All right. Next fight of the night. I actually think this one probably will be pretty exciting. I think we got Daniel Perez 16-6 versus Victor Altamirano 12-4. I like Altamirano most likely by decision, by utilizing some grappling. The problem with Victor Altamirano is judges don't really like him. I think he's been robbed a few times in fights that I thought he won. Obviously, very tough kid, Mexican chin, good grappler. Don't think he's getting tapped. Don't think he's getting knocked out. He can maybe be out-muscled sometimes. I don't really think that's going to be an issue here. I don't think. I think he can grind his way to victory. I like Altamirano by decision. It's another fight that I think goes the distance. But I lean Altamirano. I just worry that I know judges don't necessarily love his style. What do you think?
The line flipped on this because I think Perez was the favorite earlier on. So Altamirano, the problem with him is that his striking is a little bit wonky. Perez, for all his faults, he might have been he was in that fight against Filo until he wasn't in that fight against Filo. So he
That
did
was
he
so
did go against Carlos and pardon me?
it was so quick.
It was so
First
quick,
round.
but he would look pretty good for that little first bit there, and then as a young fighter, he got complacent. So he did beat Carlos Hernandez in his first fight. I'm pretty sure. So now that was I think he took him down 5 times. I'm not sure. And now my thing is that his takedown defense is really good. It's sitting at 91%. Altamirano, I don't know if he can get him down. If he can't get him down, it's going to be a tight fight on the feet. So I think it's exciting. I can see in a world where Perez wins. Um, I'm gonna go with Perez because I think he can keep this on the feet, and if they keep it on the feet, I think he's the better striker out of him and Altamirano. So, yeah, Daniel Barres for me. Um, I'm not sure if it's by decision or not because Altamirano is tough. So I think it probably is by decision. I think this is a striking battle because Altamirano can't get the grappling going that he would like.
All right, fair enough. Moving on, we've got Aylin Perez, 10-2 versus Daria Zalenciakova, 9-1. Daria should have the striking advantage. The problem here is I think, and maybe I'm wrong, I think this is one of my more confident picks. I think Aylin Perez is going to grind her out. I think Aylin will have the better pace, the much better cardio because Daria definitely slows down. Takedown defense is very suspect. She doesn't have good get-ups at all. I think I hate saying again by decision, but I think it's another fight that goes the cards, and I think Perez just absolutely outworks her. I think she will be on top, grinding her out, and we will end that fight with Aylin Perez twerk in the middle of the cage before her interview, and Perez wins the fight. I feel pretty confident about it. And like I said, she's not very exciting. Daria definitely is the finer fighter if the fight can stay on the feet and she can work some of that striking. But I don't see it. I think Aylin Cruz is here, and it might not be the most exciting. But what do you think?
I was really high on Daria for that last fight against Montserrat there. And I think it was Montserrat, but yeah, I was really high on her, and she made that fight very close. And honestly, she won it, but I don't think she did win it though. I think Rendon actually won that fight, and I was super scared holding a Daria ticket at that point. Now, yeah, the takedown defense is I think where it's going to happen, right? Um, Ellen Perez, I think she's going to bank the first 2 rounds using takedowns, and she kind of slows down in the third round because I think it was Lucy Pudilova a couple fights ago for her that she got reversed by Lucy Pudilova in the third round because she sort of gassed out a little bit. So, but the only thing is this the styles on this one's a little bit different because if she can get her down in the third, she can ride her out, right? So, yeah, I think
And
the grab. Pardon me.
Daria gassed pretty bad too. Like she was huffing.
Yeah, Montserrat Rendon, I really thought really won that fight. And I was super scared. I scaved by on that one. It is what it is. But honestly, I judged it for Rendon. And yeah, I just think the grappling edge is too big here to go against Perez. And yeah, I'm confident that she'll have a grappling going.
All right, next fight of the night, we've got hometown fighter Taylor Lapilus, 20-4 versus 16-7, Vince Morales. Taylor Lapilus should win the fight. I think this is a get the hometown fighter a win fight. I think he's fine everywhere this fight goes. Uh, Not a whole lot to say. The odds are probably super wide, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 350 minus 350 for Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a play, but give me Lapilus to win the fight. What do you think?
Yeah, he's the better striker. He's the better technical striker. And Vince Morales is the guy that got leg kicked to TKO, right? So not holding that against him a little bit, but yeah, I am holding it against him a little bit because yeah, he's not guarding against that. And Taylor Lapilus is a very good striker. And unless you're going to take him down and sort of try to ride him out, that's the only way you're going to beat him. Because in the striking game, I think he's faster, he's got better technique, and he hits harder. So. Yeah, give me Taylor Lapilus. I'm not gonna waste too much time because I think I'm very confident that he wins this fight.
All right. Next fight of the night, we've got Ludovic Klein, 22-4-1 versus Roosevelt Roberts, 12-4. Ludovic Klein, massive favorite, and I think rightfully so. There's a world where Roberts holds his own on the feet for a few minutes, maybe the first round, but at some point he's going to get hit with a big shot, or Klein just starts to take over completely. It's just a matter of when. So, I mean, if I'm guessing, Klein probably really starts to separate in round two and maybe puts him out in round two or so. But give me Klein to win the fight. The odds are crazy. Won't be playing minus 1,000, that's for sure. What do you think?
Him moving up was one of the greatest moves in his career. Yeah, he's still a great striker, and now he developed a ground game. So yeah, he's three times the fighter that Roosevelt Roberts ever was. Roosevelt Roberts is taking this fight on short notice. I mean, Ludovic Klein just beat Thiago Moises like soundly, and Thiago Moises would beat would beat Roosevelt Roberts soundly, and it wouldn't even be close, right? So, yeah, man, I'm not gonna waste the minus 1,000 on Ludovic Klein. I do think he probably finishes inside the distance, because Roberts gets finished inside the distance. That's what he does. So, yeah, Ludovic by finish. I think it's TKO actually.
All right. Next fight of the night, we've got 10-0 prospect Umar Saeed versus 15-5-1 Dawoon Jung. You know what? I try to be as honest and as I can be, and I'm not familiar with Umar. I didn't have time this week to do as much tape as I would have liked. I know everybody else on this card, so I have an opinion on everybody else, but I really can't speak to this fight, so I'm gonna leave this one to A-Train.
He pushes the grappling really hard, and I think he's going to win with the grappling here. His striking, it would be nice to see a little bit more of his striking, but I think striking with Da Woon Jung would be the wrong move in this fight. Who did he fight in this? He fought a short notice guy in his last fight, Tomo Tacos, I think it was, something like that. Tuco Tacos, yeah. So yeah, he won by a sub in the first round, somewhere in the mid first round. Well, put in perspective, say it was like 3 minutes into the first round. I can't remember exactly. It was somewhere in that range. And he controlled that fight on the ground for probably 70 to 80% of the time. So it was on the ground. He was moving, he was moving spots, he was using his jits. He has good control. And I think that's what's gonna happen here. Same thing that Devin Clark did to Da Woon Jung. He took him down. So and I feel that Sai has pretty damn good wrestling. So yeah, this fight stylistically does go for Sai, and I think I can see why he's a big favorite because I think the grappling edge, just like Eileen Perez, I think the grappling edge is very wide.
All right. Next fight of the night, we got Jan Cutelaba, 17-10-1 versus Ivan Erslan, 14-3. Uh, Cutelaba could be worth a stab when he's an underdog. As a favorite against a power hitter, like Ivan Erslan hits with power. I would take the dog here, as crazy as that sounds. I think Ivan can knock him out. Sure, Jan sometimes is good at getting to the inside, pinning you against the cage, tripping you down and working the ground game. Maybe that's his path here. That's possible, sure. Again, if he was the underdog, I think that might be worth a stab. But I don't like him as a favorite against a power puncher. So give me Ivan by knockout for the extra value. Underdog shot knockout, not a parlay piece. It would be just a small single stab. What do you think?
I think that Ankit Laba has some of the worst ring IQ I've seen in some time. I can't put my money on him. I don't know a lot about Arslan. I've seen him in the KSW. He was fighting some high level fights out there. He was fighting for championships. He was fighting in high level fights. Ryan Cutelaba has never fought in a high level fight in the UFC, and if he did, he got his ass kicked. So he's good for about 45 seconds until he gasses out. I think I don't even like this fight. I'm saying it's a total pass, and I will never put my money on Ian Cutelaba because he's gotten beaten by some of the worst and some of the best. And yeah, who's he knocking out? Who's he beating though? Like who are the guys that Cutelaba is beating, right? It's not really a good list of guys. He's losing to guys. He's Danner Bozer and Devin Clark and Khalil Roundtree a long time ago. Wow, now that guy's funny. But yeah, I mean everybody else. He's Walker and Jakku Span and Kalaev twice. Like whatever. I mean, it's good competition. I like that. Arslan's got he's chinny too. I've seen him get chin too. So maybe this fight underneath one and a
Under.
half rounds, right? Like I think that probably is the best play here. But for me to pick a side, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna pick Cutelaba because this guy's making his debut. But yo, people, don't even take that pick. Like I'm just saying, there's just full disclosure on this pick. I'm picking this guy because it's a newcomer, but I think Ian Cutelaba is the worst.
I could never play him at favorites money. Like as the favorite, fuck
Hurt me
off.
to even say this guy's name, but anyways, let's move on.
All right, next fight of the night, we got Perez Ziam, 15-4. Sorry, still sick. Versus Matt Steamroller Frevola, 11-4-1. Um, Matt's always live for a knockout. If you oblige in a brawl with him, he obviously hits hard. He can knock people out. Problem is, Perez Ziam is like the exact opposite of that. The guy does not welcome a brawl. He's probably going to pick him apart from the outside, play it very safe, will not be too much throwing down in the pocket. Ziam can be low output in the past. He's picked it up lately, but there have been fights where he just fucking danced around the outside for 3 rounds. And I think that's kind of what he'll go back to here. I'm on the ZM side. I don't love the guy by any means. I would love to see Matt knock him out. I just don't think he does. I think ZM will be the more well-rounded fighter, and he's just going to be longer. And if he wants to play a pitter-patter game on the outside, he can. If he wants to make it a grappling game, he probably can. I mean, I don't know. Give me ZM. Don't love him by any means, but I think he gets it done. What do you think?
I think Frevola wins this fight.
Yeah.
I don't think it becomes a technical battle. I think Frevola is willing to walk him down and take one of his pitter-patter punches to give another. I also think he's a fucking far better grappler in the sense here, right? I mean, we're only 2 fights away from Ferriciam getting taken now 7 times by Claudio Puelas. And Claudio Puelas is guard puller extraordinaire, lay on my back. Some of the worst fights I've ever seen in this fucking UFC. But he was able to take down Fire CM 7 times. Jimmy Malarkey took down Fire CM 5 times. So I don't see why Frevola, he took down Benoit Saint Denis twice before getting head kicked. But like that power is not coming back at him. I feel like Frevola knows what's coming. He's a little chinny, don't get me wrong, but I don't think the power coming back at him is anything special. And I remember he dog walked Dober just like you called it too, right? So I feel like he dog walks him here. I'm not, I'm by far ZM's the better counter striker. He's probably a little faster, but Frivola's got the dog in him. And yeah, I'm going Frivola. I think he dog walks him. I think he uses grappling, just grinds the shit out of him. That's just me though.
I hope you're right because I find ZM so fucking boring. But I just think he's going to be able to keep him at the end of I don't know play his range I guess. But I hope you're right, big time, big time. Moving on, we got Morgan Charriere, 19-1 versus Gabriel Miranda, 17-6. Morgan should roll here. He should be the better striker, the faster guy, the stronger guy. He shouldn't be getting out grappled. I mean, barring him gassing or something crazy happening, this should be a pretty easy fight for him, I believe. So give me more in Charriere. I'm assuming the odds are crazy. Not much more to say about that one. What do you think?
I think he's the better striker. I think he actually has the better wrestling. He has the better top control, and the only thing he can get caught in is some sort of submission from Gabriel Miranda. So, I mean, if you want to play Miranda's side, I can see like Miranda by submission. It'd be his win condition and his only win condition. I don't think he knocks out Charriere because I think his striking is rudimentary at best. And I don't think he wins a decision because I don't think he's going to throw enough volume on the feet if this stays on the feet. And I don't think if it gets down to the ground, that's going to be Gabriel Miranda taking down Morgan Charriere and top controlling him into some sort of like decision or anything like that. Vice versa, I think Charriere can get on top of him and use his ground and pound. I also think he should probably not even get to that and just keep his standing and use his faster, more technical striking. And yeah, Charriere is the only problem with Charriere is if you look back at his record and you watch some of his fights, he let some of these guys stay close, right? Like he let Chepe stay close in that fight. And, you know, Chepe's a dog, but I don't see the same dog in Miranda, and I don't see him staying that close on the feet. So yeah, minus 700. I actually think Charriere by decision has some value here because I don't know. I haven't really seen the finishing equity at bay, and I've looked at his record and I've seen some other fights, and he let fight go to the decision a lot more than I would like to for someone that is supposed to be so good as a prospect. So
All right. Moving on. I think this is actually one of the more exciting or relevant. I don't know. This fight is one of the fights I'm looking forward to the most, to be honest. We got Kevin Jousset 10-2 versus Brian Battle 10-2. Uh, One of these, the winner of this fight is going to be in a good spot to get a top 10 fight for sure. Brian Battle was someone I never really liked. I thought he was kind of douchey, but he's grown on me big time, big time. I love the way he handled the Ange Lewis fight last fight. He's calling him out in the interview and everything. He's growing on me. It's growing on me. Yes, he got fucked up by Renat Fakhretdinov a few fights ago. That was way back. He's looked way better since. Striking looks on. He's got some big power. He's got some knockouts. And Kevin Jousset, while not as known, I mean, Brian Battle, Ultimate Fighter. I mean, you know he's got the huge fan base. I think the whole world's picking Brian Battle by knockout, but Kevin Jousset is actually a very good fighter. Not so well known, but he's a tough guy. And I do not expect this to be an easy fight at all for Brian Battle. I think this fight, I think Jousset could play spoiler. I'm still going to pick Brian Battle, sure, but I'm telling you, Jousset is not a layup. This is not going to be some easy, quick knockout. Uh, Battle's going to have to work for it. And I don't know. I'm just saying, what are the odds? Just wondering here. What are the odds?
minus 170 plus 140.
Okay, you know what? That's not even that off. I thought Battle was going to be some massive favorite. So at those, I mean, at least they're giving Jousset some respect there. Um, Battle's going to have to work for it. That's all I'm going to say is Jousset is better than the public realizes. He's a pretty good fighter. I'll still take Brian Battle, but I think Jousset's got more of a chance than people think. What do you think?
I'll start with Giuseppe. So first of all, like he was against that Kiefer Crosby guy, I think it was in his first fight. And you know, he was losing some exchanges in that first round. And one can say that, oh man, like he doesn't throw enough volume, but what he did show is some good fight IQ. And he took Kiefer Crosby down pretty easily, actually, and worked for that rear naked choke pretty easily, actually. And he won that fight. So everyone's like, this next fight, they were a little bit down on him against Song Kanan. He's like, oh, well, he doesn't throw enough volume. Kanan throws enough. He's going to go. And guess what he does? He throws 134 strikes and gets an easy takedown in that fight. And he wins that one pretty easily, too, by unanimous decision. So what's Brian Battle's problem? I honestly think Brian Battle's problem is getting taken down. And it's not just the 7 takedowns by Renat Fakhretdinov. It was that he got taken down by Trayshawn Gore. Gilbert Urbina took him down a couple times. And yes, he has changed his style over the last little bit. There's a couple of things that I've noticed. He is finishing fights, and he's still not throwing enough volume for my liking, right? So he got that eye poke thing on Lucen in that last fight, but they were in the second round, and he had only had 27 strikes at that point. So I think you got to throw a little bit more than that if Kevin Jousset is going to level up his game and throw 134 in 3 rounds. You know what I mean? It's because like that's not going to work. And then that's the fight before against AJ Fletcher. He rear naked choked him in the second round, but he had only thrown 45 to that point, right? So he finished Gabe Green pretty easily. He had 3 strikes against Fakhretdinov, got controlled for almost the entire fight. Takashi Sato, he finished him quickly. He threw a lot more against Trayshawn Gore there, though. So, you know what's in him, and I do think he has the power advantage. But I watched those last 2 Jousset fights, and when Jousset needs a takedown, it looked like it came. And I think he can strike with him, and when he wants to take him down, he can take him down. And the problem with Brian Battle is like, if he does get him down, can he get back up, right? So he gets controlled on the ground. So I don't know. I like a dog shot here on Jousset because I think the fight's a little bit closer than the minus 170 says, right? I'm not like super high, like maybe I'll throw a 25 on it or something like that just to have some fun. But I'm not dead set on Brian Battle, like I'm dead set on a couple guys later on in this card, right? So he's not one of my harder leans. So I think that Jousset has shown a level up in his skills. Now, Brian, show me the level up in the skills and make me eat my words, but that's where I'm sitting at this one.
And like I said, I think yeah, I think Jouset's live for sure. Moving on, featured fight. We got William Gomis 13-2 versus Joe Anderson Brito 17-3-1. Whole world is on Joe Anderson Brito, probably by knockout or some kind of finish because he is a savage, he is a maniac, he is the far more dangerous fighter. Call me crazy again. This is a fight that I think that the dog can win. I think that William Gomis can play the matador and dance around the outside, make Joe Anderson chase him around, just pepper him with little jabs. I know Joe Anderson will stalk and he'll walk right through it. I get all of that, but like Joe Anderson keeps finding these finishes, and I don't like. Is he gonna? And eventually these finishes aren't going to keep coming. Like I don't know. Joe Anderson is a far more exciting fighter. I hope he continues his savage streak and gets another finish here. But I'm just saying, I think William Gomis is also live to play a fucking spoiler here. And the odds are too wide. I wouldn't be playing Joe Anderson Brito at minus 350 or whatever he is. So for me, it's dog or pass. And it's not that it's some confident pick. It's not a parlay piece, nothing like that. I just think the value is on William Gomis, and I think that there is a path where that he could play Matador using his length. What do you think?
I think he could, but I don't think he's going to, to be honest. I think this is I'm a pretty hard set on Joe Anderson here. Now, Gomis in his last three fights, like all three have got to the third round, two by decision, and the most he's ever thrown in a fight is 52 significant strikes. 52, man, that sucks. And like honestly, he got taken down twice by Francis Marshall. He took down Jarno Evans three times, and every time you take down fucking Joe Anderson Brito, you're putting yourself into problems here. So what is he going to do? I think he's going to dance around and try to pitter patter this guy. I don't think it works. I don't think it's going to work here. And if he had a little bit better finishing equity, if he had a little bit better striking, a little bit better power to make Joe Anderson kind of like respect that, then yeah, I think it was a chance. But I know the odds are wide, but I'm pretty damn sure that Joe Anderson Brito is gonna finish this guy.
Yeah, cool. Moving on, co-main event. Got my boy Nasruddin Imavov, 14-4. I've said this guy was. I picked him to beat pretty much anyone for the last couple of years. I'm really big on him. I know some people aren't. Versus Brandon Allen. Yes, Brandon Allen's looked much better lately. Well, last fight he didn't really look that good. He barely got by Chris Curtis, whereas Imavov fucked Chris Curtis up. We're not going to use MMA math. I think Imavov is the better striker. I think he's got pretty good takedown defense. I know Phil Haas got him down a few times in his debut, but since then his grappling's looked very good. I think he's a far superior striker. I think his biggest issue can sometimes be his gas tank, but he was smart and got this fight to 3 rounds. Allen was asking for 5. I think 3 rounds favors Imavov again. Brendan Allen's on a heater, so I'm not going to discredit him or say it's going to be easy, but I just think I think Imavov's that guy, man. I think he's going to be up for a title shot sooner than later, man. He just keeps winning, and I think he's going to win here again. Give me Imavov, most likely decision. 3 round fight. I don't think he's going to knock Brendan Allen out. Most likely a decision. What do you think?
I like Imavov here. I think he's the more skilled fighter. And let's not forget that Imavov took down Chris Curtis too. Anyone wants to say that, oh, Brendan Allen took down a guy that had good takedown defense. Well, Imavov was going to take him down three times, and that only lasted 1 round. And the Allen fight went to decision. So I wouldn't count that against. I've been hearing a lot of, oh, Brendan Allen's just going to take him down. No, the guys that taking down Imavov, that full as a wrestler though. Remember that, right? So like, and Cannonier got him down a little bit, but like he got right back up. So I don't think Brendan Allen can get him down for very long, and he's not going to tap him when he gets him down. And Imavov, the problem, my only issue with him is that he's such a slow starter, and that he might just give up that first round and is going to have to come back and win second or third round, right? Second and third round, sorry. But I do think he's the more well-rounded fighter. And Brendan Allen, for all as good as he is, I think he's not as gifted as a striker. He's gotten better, but I just don't think he's as gifted as a striker that people want to put him out there. I mean, he really threw some volume with Chris Curtis, but still got out volume. And against the other guys like Craig, he subbed, Silva, he subbed, Muniz, he subbed. he guess he didn't have to throw too much, uh, you know, volume out there, but because he got those guys down once, and then Imavov's not going to get tapped. Even if he gets down, he's going to work to his feet. And then Brendan Allen's showing a propensity to at least tire out as fights go on, and you can see it. And although his chin's pretty iron, he does get hit, right? So yeah, give me Imavov. Give me the more well-rounded fighter with the guy with more ways to win, right? I think Brendan Allen's only way to win is by sub, and I think Imavov can throw volume. Brendan Allen doesn't throw that much volume, so Imavov doesn't have to go all crazy and throw a whole shitload of volume either, right? He just has to make sure that his ones count, right? So give me Imavov.
All right, that brings us to our main event. We got Hanato Money Moicano, 19-5-1 versus 13-2 Benoit Saint Denis. Great fight. I think too many people are counting out Moicano. I think Benoit Saint Denis could absolutely starch him in the first round. It's very possible. But the longer the fight goes, the more Moicano has a chance to win this fight. Benoit Saint Denis, good grappler. Don't think he can out grapple Moicano. I don't think he'd want to, at least. He should probably be the better striker, but I mean, he just got knocked out himself, so we don't know for sure how good he's going to take a punch. Not that Moicano's a big power puncher. Benoit Saint Denis, good kicks. He's going to march forward. He's going to throw heavy ass kicks, and I don't know if he's going to want to do the ground game thing here, or if he's just going to want to try and bang him out. Very live for the early knockout. If this fight hits round 3 or more, I think Moicano wins the fight. Benoit Saint Denis hasn't been deep into any fights really. I don't know. Saint Denis knockout or hedge it with a Moicano submission? Maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Saint Denis everywhere.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
fought his fair share of black belts, buddy. So like that's where I'm
Yeah.
taking this from, right? He's fought Gabriel was it Bonfim? Tiago Moises, Gabriel Miranda, and I know he finished these guys, but he also got didn't get he felt no ways about going to the ground with these guys, and I feel like he's not going to feel any ways about taking Moicano down. Now he has the strength on him, he has the control on him, and I think he has the wrestling on him. He's not going to get tapped from the bottom, and Striker, meh, he's a little sloppy on the feet, but he has a lot of power. And you know what? I buy into the little excuse from the last fight, though. I'll buy into it. I saw the interviews after.
Staff.
Yeah, I buy into the staff. I do buy into the staff. So you got to remember, this guy went toe to toe with this the last guy. I can't even say this guy's name. Dos Santos. He went toe to toe with Dos Santos. Got his face bashed in. Didn't even kind of look, he was tiring, but he was still throwing pretty damn hard in round 3 there. Like he was going at it, and any less of a man would have been finished. And you can tell a drop in the body of him in that last Poirier fight. You know what I mean? He went balls to the wall because I think he knew that it made sense that he can't go 3 rounds with Dustin Poirier. If he doesn't get him out early, he's gonna tire, he's gonna gas. So I'm giving him a pass on that Poirier fight. Not only for that, plus the step up
He
in
was he was winning the fight.
right. He by far won that first round. But I think he's good enough that when he goes balls to the wall, he can beat any man in this division, right? I think he's that good. So I made a lot of money on him as an underdog, and I think he is so much stronger than Moicano in this spot. What's Moicano's way to victory is sub, but that means he has to take him down. And you got to shoot me in the leg to find out that he's going to take down Benoit Saint Denis. Like, I just can't see it happening. Honestly, it's going to be just like the RDA fight with Moicano, except I think he gets finished because, I mean, that the dirty Moicano chin hasn't showed his reared its nasty head in a little while. So
I
Benoit
mean,
hits like a different truck.
he was knocked out by Turner, and then Turner just walked away. The fight was over
Yeah,
again, and then
but that like that's the friggin' what's it called? That's a stupid Turner IQ, right? Like he should have won.
and I had money on Turner that fight, so it fucked me. I had money on Saint Denis versus Poirier, which fucked me because I was convinced he was going to knock out Poirier too. So I mean, I agree with every single thing you're saying. I think Benoit Saint Denis should knock out Moicano. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
and I
even
think
play
it's
his
gonna be
money
ground and
line.
pound. I think it's gonna be ground and pound. I think he has no problem taking down this black belt because he was up against black belts before. And it's so hard in nowadays MMA for a man to tap out another man from the bottom. This isn't back in the Nick Diaz, I'm gonna throw up a triangle kind of bullshit. That those days are gone, man. So yeah.
Yeah. But I also think like I agree. But I think don't play his money line. I think it's a finish. I don't think he's gonna win a 5 round. I don't think it's gonna go 5 rounds. So
I
I'd take the
agree.
extra value on a finish.
Well, yeah, it's 5 rounds. So like this one here, usually I'm a decisionator, but
I don't think Moicano can take abuse for 5 rounds.
no, I don't think Moicano can take that shit he took from RDA for 5 rounds. Yeah, you multiply that by like two or three with the how much harder that BSD hits, you know what I mean? Like RDA hits with pillow fist compared to Benoit. So yeah, I mean that's where it comes in. There's just a pure power advantage and a skill. And Benoit's got the skill to back up the power advantage as well, right? This isn't just a guy that just goes in there and punches. He's got a very good wrestling game. Very good wrestling game.
All right, guys, there you have it. Those are our picks and predictions for this UFC fight night. Drop us a like, drop us a comment. Let us know what you agree with, what your favorite pick is, any props that you see out there. Sorry, any props you see out there that you like. Let us hear it. I leave for Disney in a couple days. I'll film one from the next one from my hotel room for sure. This next one will be up earlier, probably Sunday, Monday. It'll be up there early. Enjoy the fights. Let's smash some bets. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.